Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Nut Show. Your host Superman in the house. Hope everybody is doing well out there. Well. We got the Clarity Act coming up, so we're going to talk a bit about that today. And then, of course, Pulsechain's third birthday, so that's going to be a bit of fun. So we're going to talk about that too. Don't forget to, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and smash that follow button on the way in. That'd be very cool indeed. So yeah, look forward to that. Should be good. All right, so let's say hello. Yeah, get in there and say hello into the comments, all that good stuff. Other than that, let's get started. All right, so we're going to kick it off with the stock market first, of course, and of course the futures. We got President Trump over in China with President Xi. They've had a meeting just a few hours ago, I think it was. So kind of cool. Looks like that is going fairly well. Obviously, there's the public stuff and the behind the scenes stuff. And, there's productive stuff and there's undermining stuff. I mean, it all goes on and amongst the great powers, isn't it? That's pretty much it. All right, let's get into the results here for the market and see where we're going here. So we've got US stocks futures upbeat on tech strength. Well, they're definitely still up at the moment. US 500 is up almost 0.2%, 12 points. So that's kind of positive. And we've got President Trump's Xi summit there in China. We've got the Dow Jones overnight for Wednesday's results was down 0.14%, 67 points to 49,693. So it's about about 400 points off the high. We've got the S&P 500 there. It was a really green day for that, so it was really cool. 0.6%, 43 points to 7,444, and we're just off all-time highs for S&P 500. The Nasdaq there was up 1.2%. So a real good day there. 314 points to 26,402, just off the all-time highs as well. I think it is. So let me have a look at the quick month. Yeah, just off the all-time highs as well. The volatility index is 17.87, so risk on at the moment. And the US dollar sitting at 79.37, just slightly stronger there. Commodities, looking at West Texas, looks like it's come down a little bit there. Let's look at the last week. It's just off the highs. I mean, it was up at 102 or something. Now it's down at 100, just 101. So it's down a little bit today. Brent oil there at 105, so still elevated over $100. So still about maybe a 40 to 45% premium in there for the Strait of Hormuz and the Iran conflicts. We've got the gold prices at the moment is down just a little bit there, price $6 down at 4,700. And if we look at the chart over the last year for gold, we can see it's definitely rotated down. We've got higher lows in there, and silver there is down $1. It was actually up, I think, quite well last night. That is actually making a bit of a rebound. So good stuff happening for silver there. And copper as well, $6.61 is pretty much at all-time highs. So copper looking really, really good. So copper and silver obviously used in modern electronics and manufacturing. So some good stuff happening there. All right, so let's jump into some of the other commentaries here. So obviously President Xi's summit is awaited, and everyone's gone there, right? Elon Musk, all the tech giants, Nvidia CEO, Jensen Huang there, and they've all gone to talk, trade, no doubt. So a lot of trade happening there. Taiwan, of course, may be talked about, although it's one of the topics, 4 topics that they don't want people to talk about. They don't want Trump to talk about democracy and freedoms and things like that, and their right to develop and etc. So there's all sorts of these 4 big demands that they have not to talk about. Taiwan's one of them, but we'll see what happens there. Certainly trade will be on the agenda, and AI will be on the agenda there. What else? So yeah, we might also have some development there on the Iran war. We'll see how we go there and see whether AI chips will be sold. I guess the most advanced ones from Nvidia, I believe, at the moment are not allowed to be sold to China, and there's pros and con arguments around that. All right, so that's kind of where we are. Remember, we had the producers price index out, and that was slightly higher as well. So we had high CPI, high PPI, and we've seen that impacted in the crypto charts, right, for Bitcoin. That seems to have been digested to the downside at the moment. All right, let's jump into the big news though, and that is we've got the big Fed chair. We've got the new chair there. Jerome Powell is going on Friday, I think it is. Friday's his last day officially as the chair, at least. Obviously, he's going to try and stay on as a president for two more years, I think it is. Kevin Walsh has been confirmed as the chairman of the board, so obviously was appointed to the board voted in the other day, and he's going to be now has been confirmed as the chair of the board of the Federal Reserve System. So great stuff there. Looking forward to him pro crypto, and hopefully more dovish and much more balanced around economics, supply and demand, and of course employment and interest rates. So hopefully that is going to be a much better there. So that's the guy in front of us. Very, very cool. Now moving from the Fed, we've also got big news happening around the Clarity Act. Obviously, we want that sort of final overarching regulation there for the United States, and that will ensure innovation and a move to a more advanced banking system and using the blockchain, of course. So kind of cool. And we got a little update here from the Senate, and that is in Washington. And we've got the old Brian Armstrong here putting a post out about this. So let's listen to what he's got to say.
Hey everyone, Brian Armstrong here. I'm back in the Senate office building in DC in anticipation of crypto market structure legislation going to markup on Thursday, which would be a historic moment, and the energy here is just palpable. So first off, just want to say a big thank you to the Senate and of course their staff who have been putting in countless hours to get this bill to a good place. I don't think it's ever been in a more strong position and more bipartisan position. And I also want to thank the 3.7 million Stand With Crypto advocates who have made their voices heard to get this legislation to where it is today. Now, there were a number of open issues that have now made incredible progress. Stablecoin rewards was a big one. I think there was a healthy compromise there, brokered by Senators Tillis and also Brooks. And it was a good compromise because both sides left a little bit unhappy, but at least we got to a place that we can all live with. And then, of course, the other issues, which I mentioned in my X post back in January that were problematic in the prior draft, things like DeFi and tokenized equities and CFTC authority, these have all been improved and fixed from our point of view. And so the bill is stronger than ever. It's bipartisan. It's ready to go to markup. And I'm incredibly bullish on what this could mean for American innovation and ordinary Americans benefiting from this technology. So we'll keep you updated and keep fighting the good fight. Thanks.
All right, so that was a quick video there from Brian Armstrong there from, where's he from? Coinbase, I think it was, yeah. Coinbase there. And so he's working hard there, and he seems pretty happy with it. With that one, we've got another video from him too, so we're going to hear that too. And that's on Fox News, so let's listen to his point of view on that too.
Well, there's been a compromise, and so it's a true compromise because both sides left a little bit unhappy. And so on this stablecoin rewards issue in particular, we met the asks of the bank lobby and the Senate, and they said they don't want to have any rewards paid on idle balances. And so we came up with this compromise or concession that rewards could be paid as long as there was some sort of material activity on the account, like a payment or a trade that had taken place. And I've got to give a lot of credit to Senators also Brooks and Tillis and their staff who worked tirelessly on this to bring both sides together and reach this compromise. I think it's in the best place that we've seen so far, and the other issues that I brought up in January have also been resolved. And so at this point, we're ready to support a markup later this week.
So you're expecting the markup Thursday?
That's correct.
Yeah, and Brian, I want to get your take on this because, there are other obstacles here, and I wonder what the Senate Agriculture Committee has to say about all of this. They'll weigh in as well, correct?
That's correct. There's a role here for both Senate and Senate Ag. Senate Ag already had their markup earlier this year, and it did pass. Now, if the Senate Banking Committee goes through later this week, then it goes to the full Senate floor. And that's what we're hoping to have happen in the coming months, just as you saw Tim Scott mention earlier on your program.
And you've said on the call after you reported your results for the your first quarter, that this is an opportunity to help institutions onboard onto the Coinbase ecosystems. Tell us what that means. What are you expecting in terms of other institutions wanting to onboard?
Yeah, well, I go around and I speak with lots of different bank CEOs, and many of them are just leaning into this as an opportunity to grow their business. They're integrating stablecoins as fast as they can. They understand that their clients want access to crypto assets, and all these funds are now being tokenized, and it's just going to make everything more efficient in the financial system. So I truly believe that this is an opportunity for American companies, including the banks. We're very invested in their success. They're invested in our success, by the way. They've been working with us as partners in many different ways for the last 14 years. And so we're at a place now where all American companies can finally start to build this industry. My hope is that with this legislation getting through, we're all going to be able to work together a little bit more collaboratively.
Now, when you look.
All right, so there was another piece there on the Clarity Act from his point of view. So let's move on further. Now, Fidelity, one of the big banks, is also who's really been running in very fast into crypto. They've supported the Clarity Act as well. They think it's a balanced approach and helps ensure the US remains a global leader in digital assets, and they're all in, right? So we already see a lot of the big banks, Morgan Stanley, BlackRock, everyone else, really starting to ramp up their entrance into crypto in multiple ways. I mean, you're talking about buying stocks in major companies like major digital asset treasuries, buying financial derivatives, issuing new financial derivatives and products. These guys are going all in, right? So it is ramp up time, which is a good leader sign that they're actually keen on it. Now, more the traditional banks, they're going to hopefully, they've been pushing back, of course, around the yield. So hopefully we'll see that move forward. Apparently we've got the votes. Apparently, even though there's been over 100 amendments pushed through from senators, even though you've got Senator Warren, I think it is, pushing out nonsense. You've got apparently they've got the votes, so 13 or something to get it through. So we'll see. It's still going to be a bit of a push, and we've got to see all the markups and then see where that lands with all those amendments. Hopefully most of them will be thrown out if they're rubbish, and we can move forward. And then that will go together with the ag, which he already said has gone for markup already, and then hit the floor. So hopefully we'll get a floor vote sometime in June. That markup, as I understand it, will have to be merged with the amendments and marked up and pushed forward. That might take a few weeks, and that's why it goes from the vote the markup on Thursday the 14th, and then hopefully over a couple of weeks we'll have that final wording, and that will then hit the Senate floor in a few weeks' time. So that's kind of the idea timeline that I understand at the moment, and hopefully that will end up on the president's desk by the 4th of July, which is 250 years of America. Yeah. All right, so kind of cool. Now we also been following Eleanor Terrett there from Crypto America. She's been doing some really nice updates as well on the Senate floor there. So she's just confirming that 100 amendments that I was talking about. But it does appear that we are getting the votes supportive, which means that Democrats won't necessarily be able to block it. But once again, proof's in the pudding. But we'll see how we get on through there. All right, so that is kind of cool. That leads us into the crypto majors and see how they're going at the moment. I'm going to give this a refresh just to make sure we've got the latest and greatest prices. But here we are. We've got the total market cap at 2.742 trillion. So we had the tech indices on the stock market going up today. We have the crypto down. Crypto's gone down 1.5%, presumably following the CPI and the PPI down. And so we've had quite a bit of a correction there. Obviously, we were getting resistance at 82K. We'll talk about that in a minute. And we're back down towards 79,500, and we were actually dipped lower than that overnight. We're down 1.8%, 24 hours to 79,558 on Bitcoin, down 2.3% for the week. ETH is at the moment down 1.1%, $2,264, down 3.6% for the week. BNB is down 0.4%, $675 at number 4, and that is up 4.3% for the week. So BNB good there. XRP down 1.2%, $1.43 at number 5, up 0.5% for the week. Solana at number 7 is down 4.2%, but still up 2.4% for the week at $91.16. Tron there is at number 8 is up 0.2%, 1% for the week at just below 35 cents. And finally, Dogecoin is up 2.8% and 1.8% for the week. So all of that today, that's sitting just below 11.5 cents. And of course, arguably waiting for X money from Elon Musk to go public, I guess. We've got Craig in the house. Hey, morning all. Good to see you, Craig. And also Alicia as well. Looking bullish, my friends. Yeah, a little bit of pullback there is a healthy thing on the way up, right? That's the idea. All right, so that is the top 10. Let's have a look at the top 100. We got Unibase up 32% for the 24 hours, stable there, up 3.4% with the USDT network. I think that one is. Yeah, Doge 2.8%, Bulldon 1.9%, and Canton 1.5%. So only Unibase are really the standout in the last 24 hours in the top 100, sitting at number 99. So new entrant, no doubt. We've got numbers on the weekly. We've got Bulldine up 93% for the week, Unibase up 62%, Siren up 38%, and Pulsechain up 23%, and Stable up 22%. Those are top 5 and the top 100 on Coinbase. Top 1,000, we've got Kishu Inu up 15%, Quack AI up 42%, and Swarm Network up 34%. And top 1,000 trending overall on CoinGecko is Firo, Xano, and Lab. They're trending overall, apparently. So there we go. That is the market. Let's zoom in on Bitcoin. Bitcoin here on the hourly, you can see we had a dramatic fall off there with the inflation data, all the way from 81,278 all the way down to 78,707. So quite a big day there. That's down about $2,578. So a pretty decent correction there, 3%. We are up now though, recovering somewhat, up how much? $913, almost $1,000. We're up 1.1%, so a bit of a pullback there. But on the daily, that's kind of what matters, the 4 hour and the daily. Let's have a quick look at the 4 hour. 4 hour there, we're kind of in the middle between the moving averages. Let's go to the daily, which is kind of the key one. I want to close the day, right? Well, we had 3 negative days. Yesterday we were green. Remember that during the live stream? We had a green day. Well, ended red, very red on the inflation news. And then we're back up at the moment, 79,607. But look what's happening with the daily chart. We've got the 50 moving average in yellow moving up. That is now sitting at 76,472. So let's just say 76,500. We're at 79,600. And we got the 200 moving average at 81,963. So it's just dropped below that 82K mark. But we'll just say 82 for rounding. So obviously if the yellow crosses the orange, we've got a golden cross. So I'm still feeling pretty happy about the charts at the moment. We've still got our higher lows in check there. Obviously a bit of a test today, but we're still kind of ramping up there. It is a little bit flatter up here, but I think we've still got essentially everything going up the right direction there, and a good positive clarity act on Thursday. That would be seen as a positive. I'm not sure it's going to be sell the news event because it's just one step in the process if you think about it. So I still think it's a ramp up from here. Might get a short-term thing, a couple hours maybe, and then up it goes. So this is Bitcoin, but of course that is on the news. Let's check out what actually happened overnight, which is the lead in the title of the video, and that is Stretch. I told you guys to watch Stretch last night. Well, it didn't do 10,000 Bitcoin, which would have been outstanding, but it did do a pretty big number. So let's go see what it's done. 5,160 Bitcoin is estimated to be bought there by the Stretch preference issuance by Strategy. So Michael Saylor's Strategy, #1 digital asset treasury in the world, holds 818,000 Bitcoin based on the last update, but it's been buying more since then. And last night, which is the second to last day before ex-dividend, the preferred stock managed to raise enough money in the debt markets to buy 5,160 Bitcoin approximately. These are estimates, right? So we'll see the final number next week on Monday before the opening of the stock market. But these are just ginormous numbers. So remember that the miners are mining about 450 blocks a day, and in this one day we did 5,160. So it gives you an idea of that. So pretty impressive, right? Pretty impressive. What's that? 20x there. Now we have had ATM printing since. Just trying to go back to see. I won't include the 8th, but we have had good printing in the last 3 days from the 11th to the 13th. So we had approximately about 2,500 on the 11th. So just add these numbers up. On the 12th, we had almost 3,000. So that's 5,500. And then last night, which we finished, we got another 5. So what's that? What did I say it was? What was 2.5? 5.5. So we've got 10.5, maybe 10, maybe just over 10,500 Bitcoin if these estimates are close. And I think they are probably not too bad. So even if you took off 500, we're still over at 10,000 Bitcoin bought up. Think about that. That's in 3 days. That's a lot of Bitcoin, guys. So it's a game on here. So exciting stuff. So it sets us up well for next week's disclosure on Monday, and probably pretty bullish on MSTR. So MSTR getting all this new Bitcoin, it raises the sats per share for MSTR as they kind of move away from issuing common stock and just use the stretch product to raise capital, buy Bitcoin, and get free Bitcoin in that sense. Now, obviously, they have to pay the dividend yield, but that's just shaving off some of the estimated future revenue future gains from Bitcoin itself. So kind of cool. Look at that. Yeah, daily volume over $500 million, and net ATM proceeds about 409 million. That assumes an 80%, I think about 80% of the daily volume is over $100, and therefore they can issue more stretch shares and raise capital. And of course, remember the Bitcoin price is cheaper, 79,500. So that's why it's a cool thing. If you're holding MSTR stock, you'll be pretty happy because you're getting a lot more Bitcoin for your buck here. Now, arguably, maybe if the price was higher, maybe there would have been twice as much money going through. I don't know, that's a question, but still, it's still getting cheaper Bitcoin averages there. Kind of cool. So keep a lookout for that. So what's the last night, right? Last night is the 14th, so tonight. And is it going to hit 10,000 tonight? Or will it even be more? Will it go even do something crazy and go 15? So pretty exciting. Let's see what it did last month on the final ex-dividend day on the 14th of April. Well, it did 16,000, and the price of Bitcoin at the time was 74.800, so it was a bit cheaper, but 1.5 billion went through the daily volume. Insane, right? And 1.2 billion was net ATM proceeds, so pretty big day there. We're going to get $1 billion day tonight. Keep a lookout, guys. It's the ex-dividend last day. Looking forward to it. And of course, the 13th before that, which is equivalent to the day we just had, they did 12,500 approximately. These are approximate numbers. It's pretty close to the actual what they actually disclosed, so it's not too bad. So yeah, they did a $1.1 billion day as well. We're going to be leading to more $1 billion plus days, right? That's the question. And at the moment, they've got a vote on for bi-monthly dividend yields. So that's being voted on. That should kick into gear, I think, as early as maybe mid-June or early July. I just can't remember. I've got to go double check, but one of those two that will kick in, they'll be paying. So that will mean that there'll be more debt raising and more buying Bitcoin more often, and with less gaps in it. So kind of cool. All right. So that is the big news there. So 10,000 Bitcoin in 3 days, and another day tonight. Maybe today's another 10,000. That'd be 20,000 Bitcoin. Woohoo! And you add that to the 818, that gets you to what? Close to 840K, and heading towards 1 million, right? And so on this trajectory, looking good for the beginning of the end of Q3, end of Q3 maybe, something like that. All right, so Ethereum as well. So Ethereum at the moment is sitting at $2,263. Let's quickly look at the hourly sell-off here, the CPI, PPI data or PPI data, and that was down $87 or 3.8%, so a lot bigger than Bitcoin, and it is up how much? 1.2% or 1.3%, so $28. A lot of work to do there. And let's have a look at the daily. We won't look at the 4 hourly. We'll just go to the daily there. And that is where we're at the moment. So we're really testing this little uptrend that we had, this floor sort of price. We've got this big move down, so expecting a big blow up to the upside at some stage. So that is where we are. Obviously, we're just below the 50-day moving average, so we've got to get above that, hopefully today. It would be nice to see that. And we have got the 50-day at 2,273. We're currently at 2,263, so we're about $10 below it. And we got the 200-day up there at 2,575. So get a bit of work to do there. Hopefully, we'll blow up there as well. Moving to the weekly, let's go to the weekly quickly on Ethereum. We've been in this like 5-year, resistance at 5K, and I think once we blow that, it's going to be ballistic. And then people that are after altcoin season should really be flourishing by that time. We've really been capped here compared to Bitcoin, and so I think we've got good times ahead there. All right, bang bang. Now Pulsechain. Pulsechain is 3 years old. Isn't that cool? Pulsechain is 3 years old. That is pretty neat. So Richard Hart here, happy 3 years of flawless operation on Pulsechain. So that was from Richard. Kind of cool. Everyone's pretty excited about that. We've got the monster thread in there. Nice work. So yeah, TikTok. It's game on. So lots of people are pretty happy about that with the old Richard Hart. I'm not sure if he said anything else on here, but let's have a quick look. Did Richard Hart say anything else? Not anything else that I can see. But that is cool from Richard. That's cool from Richard. So happy 3 years of birthday, everybody. All right, let's jump into the results. Pulsechain, we've got, this does rounded numbers, but we've got Pulse there at 508, while Pulse is actually at 50765, so it's quite a bit of rounding there. But we're up 2%, so we'll take that. Hex is at 1300 penny, up 1.3% on Pulsechain. That's PHEX. ProveX is down 2% at 0.0056. PulseX is at rounded 506, and that's up 2.4%. Ink token at 35 cents is up 2.5%. So a little bit of gain there for everything except for ProveX. Looking at the validators, we're at how many validators? Let's have a look here. 50,900 validators. So that's pretty much what we've had the last couple of days. Let's have a look at the gas prices. We were really low yesterday, and we're low again today. 600,000 beats. Only 0007 US cents to do a Pulsex swap, which is about 93 pulse apparently. Let's go to the bridge stats, which has been a big problem. The last couple of days we had I think slightly improvement, but let's have a look to see where the bridge values are as well. So we're at 53.7 million over the last 7 days. We're only down slightly, 0.04%, so at least it's cooled off a bit. But over the last 30 days, we're down 5%. And our last big high was back here in April. I think it was around April 26, and we were at 58 million. We're now down at 53.7. So what are we down? About 58. So we're down, how much? 53.5. About 4.5 million, something like that. 4.5 million. So we've got a bit of work to do. Guys. Keep bridging. So it's kind of it at the moment. Let's jump over to the Pulse chart here. I got the full chart. We're up 2% today. We'll take that. And this is the weekly charts here. We are looking for the fight. We got the fight of our lives on Pulsechain right now, trying to find the bottom. Can we do it? Yes, we can. Yes, we can do it. Leacher says, yeah, looking bullish. Yeah, let's do it. So we've been in. I think we've arguably got different structure going on at the moment than we have over the last 36 months. And so we've been fighting down to hold above the 7,000 mark. So we're going to win that fight. 3 years into it, we're going to win that fight. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks down above 7,000. That is pretty unusual a structure if you can compare it to the rest of the chart, right? Rest of the chart there. Now we had a few little areas where we might have had 4 or 5 weeks, but with very big volatility in them. We had maybe that one, maybe this one back here in January 25. We were there for a little while, big volatility though, and we were on big downward moves as well. Here we kind of feel like we've hit the bottom here, and we're trying to fight to stay over 7,000. We're currently at 7,650 right now. So are we there? The other thing that we've also got at the moment is when we were going through these sort of choppy sideways movements, which we only got a couple of examples here, we were going down on the RSI. Like we were going down the RSI on both counts. Well, this time we're at the bottom of the RSI essentially. I mean, it can always go lower, but we're essentially running down just above the oversold period. So I think that's structurally quite indifferent. So you can compare those comments, but that's kind of where I feel. So, but how long do we stay down here? How long? Sometimes accumulation can take several months. At minimum, it's probably 6 to 8 weeks, and we're already up to eight weeks there. So we're pushing the boundary there. So presumably, maybe, I don't know, are we almost out? Are we almost found out? Or are we going to have to take another month or two? That's the question, right? So we take a month. Now, on saying that, we've got pretty bullish macro news potentially with the Clarity Act, and we've got the stretch product operating. So we'll see what happens there with the markets moving forward. But maybe it might take a month or two more. I don't know. We'll see. But certainly is fighting the battle right now at the bottom, which means that if this is the bottom, you are getting a lot of pulse for your buck right now. A lot of pulse for your buck. What happens in markets? Buy low, sell high, right? That's very much it. So at the moment, you are getting a lot. So if we compare it to this sacrifice, for example, 1 billion Pulse was costing you about $85,000. So $85,000 for about a billion Pulse in the sacrifice. Well, that is only going to cost you 7,600 now. So it just gives you an idea of how much Pulse you're getting relative to a sacrificer. So take with that what you will. But there's a lot of Pulse flushing around right now, and that's redistributed from sacrifices and large holders and all that sort of stuff that either rotated out or didn't have diamond hands or whatever the reason, and so on. So there we go. It's lots of Pulse flushing around. Pulse for you, Pulse for me, Pulse for everybody, Pulse for the President of the United States, Pulse, Pulse, Pulse. All right. So that there is the Pulse chart. Let's jump away to the top performers in the top 100 right now. Well, we've got this new one popped up here. I haven't looked at it, of course, 4 hours ago. That's up 65%. Remember, always do your checks on this. There's a lot of honeypots and other things that jump into the top leaderboard here. We're sitting at 3.1 million volume right now, just below 398,000 transactions. We got Payment. It's been around for 15 days. That's up 93%. It's having a big day there. RH Pepe, which launched 24 days ago, that's up 32% as well. So having a bit of a rebound on that one. We got Staked ETH right now up 12%. We got Smorg up 7.7%. Swarm up 7.4%, and Atropa DAO there. Sorry, Atropa DAI, I should say, up 7%. That's from James and Maria. We got one of the PGC peers, typically the DAI one. That's up 6.5%. There's only a little bit of volume on these, so remember all these have got little tiny volumes, or for the most part. So it is what it is. These ones with 35k, that's typically kind of medium large, isn't it? Medium large. We only have about like 6 or 7 peers that are typically trading at this level of volume of 3 million. They're typically trading over 100k. What else? Let's jump down a bit further here. Teddy Bear from James Maria up 6%. ZKP from Kairos, one of the top DeFis that's launched recently, just over almost 2 months ago, I think it is, up 5.8%. So it's cool there. Gizmo is up 5.5%. Teddy Bear, James Maria, which has got quite a few peers here, number 13, 14, 15, is up about 5%, plus or minus. Curve, which is tied into this real estate, I don't know if it's a full tokenization, but a real estate project, that's up 4.4%. Finvestor from OG WebChef, the grandparent, the original, that's at $1.17. That's up 4% right now. Zero Trust, tied into the Peacock ecosystem, part of the trifecta or quadfecta, depending on how many projects you want to include there. That's up 4%. Coin Mafia from Raka Michelle, which recently added an extra 1,000 validators, pushed us back over 50,000 again. That is sitting up 3.8% at $2.14. Made a bit of a jump yesterday after the sell-off. And so it had that sell-off there. It made a little bit of a jump yesterday, but has come back a little bit there, $2.14. All-time high was up at $3.07. $3.07 there. What else? We got SolidX up 3.3%. At number 22. Seeing a little bit of life in those quasi-dead projects. And nothing's really dead on crypto, right? And it's got the pool, as long as it's got liquidity in it, a little bit of liquidity. What else is going on here? Peacock down at number 28, up 2.9%, sitting at 1.15 cents. So pretty much been around this for some time. So which is probably a good sign of consolidation. It was about maybe 3 weeks ago. We had a couple of page 1 and 2 selling down the chart, maybe 4 or 5 of them actually. And that happens from time to time, right? You got to get OGs out. So that suppressed the price, despite the fact that Liberty Swap is buying quite a bit up on a regular basis and also building their treasury. So all their fees aren't going in to the buy and burn. They've got equivalent, something like 10 million Pulse validated equivalents, give or take. But they're about to unleash a lot of projects, and we're going to look at that soon. Liberty Swap, big news update there. DAO token number 32, up 2.6%. Most wanted, these are our top meme coins, up 2.5% there. Vouch, our number 1 liquid validator, but like Rocket Pool and Lino, is up 2.4%. They recently had capital staking, I think it was, and more yield in the flywheel distributed, up 2.4% right now. Remember, the 5th of September at number 43 is up 2.2%. That's from OG WebChef. We've got this scammy type of thing here, this Nana thing. Keep away from that. Nana X, Nana. We've got SCADA here. It's up 2% from Nuclear Supply Team. Kind of a boutique, unique tokenomics. Pretty innovative team, and I like what they do. What else? We've got 9mm. That's at 1.5%. Our second biggest DEX. We only got two main DEXs, right? Pulsechain and 9mm. But that might change with Liberty Swap and a few others coming up in the future. That's at 1.5% right now, 1.2 cents. Pretty interesting, actually. Pretty similar price to Liberty Swap, which is funny. Liquid loans there is, well, Liberty loans. I always, every time I come up to it, I always have the same comment, don't I? It just makes me laugh. Just makes me laugh for some reason. You know the reason, because I say it all the time. But liquid loans are 53 at 1.4%. UFO Pruvex at 1.25% there. Dominance, another OG Web Chef at 1% there. PMX 500 at number 62 is up 0.75%. Halgo Hex Derivative is up 0.5%. PC the Greys in the mix, they're currently up about 1/3%, give or take, depending on the pair. But let's have a look at the Pulse pair here for number 67. And they really haven't done much, have they? They recently had that couple. These are weekly candles that had 2 good weeks. Had another 2 good weeks back here, but really pushed down there as well. One of the largest communities on Pulsechain, definitely got a lot of big influencers supporting it, but really not doing too much there. Now, talking about influencers and people moving and shaking, we've got Frank Whitehouse. They bang bang Pulse gang. Happy 3rd birthday to Pulsechain. Absolutely happy 3rd birthday. Very, very cool. All right, some good stuff happening here. All right, so we're still sitting at 409,000. The pulse ratio, let's have a look at that. That is a bit better, right? A bit better in terms of the chart. That's at 11.8. The all-time high was up at about 22, so it's about half of that. All right, what else we got going? Let's scroll all the way down. So we got coming down to pumped-ice dye up slightly green, just under 0.5%. At number 67. Ink Dollar, which is a stable coin, at $1.03. That's pretty cool. That's from Fast Abdul. That's at number 69. And then so we've got 69 coins that are in the green on in US cents. And then what else? So we've got Emmett Farm here sitting at $1.30. Our top APR farm, or AP, DeFi income. We've got that's only pretty much break even, I guess, or flat today. Peacock Zero, another one of the Peacock trifectas. Zero Trust down 30% there. Zendog is the other one, right? So Zendog is the third, and there's 3 or 4 quadfecta. I guess we've got quadfecta. Zendog there down 0.6% right now. Top Hat tied into Peacock liquidity as well. That's at down 1.3% from Cryptographics, our largest Pulsechain influencer. And what else is going on here? Pruvex. We've got the Pulse Guide. This is the quadfecta here. This quadfecta here. That's down 1.5% right now. That's the quadfecta for the Peacock crew. Are they all the same team? I don't know. You decide. Liberty Swap loves the confusion. They love the confusion there. Pruvex is down 2% today from Richard Hart. That's a negative. Negative. Let's have a look there. The liquidity is down below 900K. Typically it was over 1 million, right? But let's have a look at the daily charts. This is where we're going. So we're at 4056. Let's have a look at my market. Now this market was based on GoPulse numbers. But we're now in the market cap, right? Oh, there we go. We're at 71, so we're below 75, which is where I thought it should go, right? That's based on GoPulse numbers. So there's 3 different numbers running around. Pulsechain stats, this one, the DEX numbers, at least 3, might be 4. That's 75. So we're back in there. So there we go. But you can't fight the pump, right? You can't fight the pump. Look at that, all that value in the pump. There we go. Well, apparently you can fight it if you're just long enough. You're there long enough. So where's it going to go to, guys? Where is it going to go to? Well, we go back to here, and apparently the Buckamentals guys with the best sacrifice rate, they were all the way down here at 4032. So still quite a bit of a premium there for the best public validated sacrifices. That's 74% still there based on this numbers. The RSI is still not in their oversold territory. Still got a bit of room to go, so we'll see. 4 hourly, what does that tell us? 4 hourly there. Let me auto log that. Lots of room to do. Lots of things to do there. Got to get back over 58. So it's got a little bit of work there. Not a lot, but a little bit. So it's just got a downtrend playing out, right? So fighting against the wind there. So also minimum at number 87 is down 2.4%. The European food innovator with the healthy food. Pikachu there at number 89, that is down 3%. True Farm is down 5% at 63 cents. So True Farm is another farm on Pulsechain like Emmet Farm that offers high API yields. They're also part of a wide ecosystem that does the 2x Pulse miners, as well as they do DeFi projects like TrueFarm. And that's kind of cool. They've also got the SRE fund, which is the most fascinating thing on Pulsechain because it's basically like a managed fund, and they go around and invest in high yield protocols like TrueFarm, like Emmet Farm, and earn high yield and push that back into 2x miners. That's kind of the way it's set up. So kind of cool. I like that. I like that on Pulsechain. We got that. It's just at 63 cents right now on the old TrueFarm. All right, check out the high APRs though; they're looking pretty good. We got the world's greatest pre-dye printer down 6% from OG WebShift on another OG WebShift. I think we've covered 4 of those today, haven't we? And we reserve day there from James Maria that is down 8%, so a big down day there. And of course, we have covered. There's been at least 3 James Maria tokens that we've covered today. This is our final one there. So look at the chart there as well. Not too much happening, except a pulse ratio. Get rid of that first day, ruins the charts, and $3.18 apparently. That's versus pulse for reserve day or FD. All right, so let's scroll back out of here. We're going to go to Liberty Swap because they're one of the projects. Actually, we're going to cover the news that I posted yesterday. Should we do that? Yeah, let's do it. Should we do it live? Well, let's do it live. We are live. What the hell? Who said we're live? All right. I did my own fun celebration video from Richard. I thought that was kind of funny. Should we play that? It's a little video. Why not? Let's do it.
Happy 3rd birthday, Pulsechain! Happy 3rd birthday, Pulsechain!
That's what happens when you're having fun. That's what happens when you have fun there. But I did an alert on Tetra. So we got an update yesterday from Tetra. I posted it out. So Tetra, I said to you, we've got some really, really clever devs out there. We've got world-class devs out on Pulsechain that have a backlog of projects. I said that, didn't I? A backlog of projects. I said to you, a lot of them are probably waiting for the market to reverse. We looked at the Pulsechain chart before. If we can get a reversal, then we get momentum. People get wealthier. It's more participation, all that sort of stuff. So a lot of projects teams are just backlog with their projects. Backlog. And Stu's one of those guys, right? Stu's one of those guys. He's certainly taken on a lot and probably too much, if you think about it. But he's got there in the end from the looks of it. Now, I know there'll always be some doubters, but, this is his latest update, so you can take it for what it is. But it does seem like a good, firm foot forward. Keeping to dates will always be a challenge, so I'm not going to, be delusioned around that. But he's put a stake in the ground, which is kind of cool. And it does look like he's achieved something here. So Pulsechain News Alert, Tetra and Signum Oracle Community Update. So this will bring our second public Oracle to the market, which would be pretty cool. Also, people were excited about that for PSD Algo, our big innovative quasi decentralized stablecoin coming up from Jacob, another world-class player. So we'll keep a lookout for that. Now, anyway, Stu says, I'm pleased to officially announce that the core Tetra products are now complete and ready for release. Now, remember, originally these were going to be on a website. They're going to be Web3 interacting. And then, of course, he changed the whole perspective and moved it so you could just download the software. And this allows you to interact with, Web3 on contracts and things like that. You can do all sorts of things, set up limit orders, and I guess interact with bots and things like that. So there's lots of different opportunities there. Over the past months, a huge amount of work has gone into refining the ecosystem, improving security, stability, and ensuring everything is ready for launch in the way it was originally envisioned there. So, congratulations to him, because it's a lot of hard work. It's easier for us to talk about it. We can just, say, hey, here it is. But he's been spending months, hours, and days and weeks on it. So it's a lot of hard work there. Very cool. We're now entering the next phase of Tetra rollout, and here is the release schedule. So the new Tetra website will be Friday the 22nd of May. So that's coming up in about 8 days. 8 days for that. Hub, Motus, and Atlas are coming up 22nd of May. Now, I'm not too familiar with Hub and Motus. I've seen Atlas before, but that's the 22nd of May there as well. So I might have to do my own homework on those two. Let me know in the chat if you know what those are off the top of your head. Stratus also, we've seen that as well. So the Tetra, Atlas, and Stratus were all on the original website, right? So I haven't got that up today, but that is there. And Cursor Core, which I haven't heard of either. Some feature maybe, I don't know. But there's going to be available as trial downloads from Friday the 29th of May. So this is all delivering this month, guys. So that, you know, that's pretty amazing, right? That's pretty cool stuff happening here. So that is from him. Now, final licensing contracts go live 5th of June. So that's early next month. And then we've got licensing subscription purchases available Friday the 12th of June. So, you know, it looks like it's moving to full commerciality by mid-June there. Pretty cool. And if it doesn't get better than that, well, it does, because Signum Oracle is coming. I added the word Oracle in there, by the way. So, releasing Friday the 17th of July. So that is coming up, and that's just over a month away. Very excited about that. And of course, that is the one that Jacob with PS Diago, arguably the world's best peer-to-peer dev, is going to be using for PS Diago. Now, with an updated PS Diago, which, you know, we've been talking about for several years, we believe that's his flagship project. Obviously, he's done the Mafia game, which is pretty much operating, I think, for the most part. And also he's got the on-chain bet, right, which is the big on-chain multi-chain casino coming up. And then also, which he sort of morphed BNB pot and Pulse pot into, right? So that you'll be able to claim with those tokens, which was nice of them to do that, and extend it, which was pretty cool. So that's coming up. But Signum Oracle, big deal there for PS Diago, the decentralized hybrid stablecoin, which we think is going to be pretty cool. The last little insights we got from that too was from a little birdie that told us that they were probably doing some sort of adaptation for the Genius Act. So I'm not sure what that means, but we'll find out. We'll find out. In addition, Tetra GPT, the AI-powered crypto assistant, so he's got that in there, will roll out gradually to users throughout the release period. So that's pretty cool, right? That's pretty cool. Now, final comments here from Stu was, I want to acknowledge the recent quiet period from my side, with markets slowing significantly. So it's back to what I was talking about, you know, with the people, and purchasing activity being down across the board. I decided to use this time productively, focused on work-life balance, completing development, refining the platform, and ensuring the Tetris ecosystem is fully prepared to release. I genuinely appreciate everyone who has continued supporting the vision throughout this journey. The foundation is now in place, and I'm looking forward to getting Tetra live and continuing in the next phases of as the ecosystem grows. Best wishes, Stu. Now, you know, that's a huge deal, right? This is a lot of new technology coming to market and on Pulse, you know, based out of Pulsechain. So, you know, that's awesome stuff for a Pulsechain and users everywhere. And, you know, great to see Stu realizing his vision as well and getting it into the market in the next 6 weeks. Very cool. Now, I just put this note here as well. Signum is one of 2 prerequisites for PS Diago to launch, right? So the other one, based on historic, you know, comments by Jacob, is that, you know, they need enough collateral. So obviously we need an ETH rally for that. If that's still holding up, if that's still the way he's going to do it, even when you add it to AMM pools and do V2s where you can sort of double the LP in a sort of a way, he's got to set up 4 or 5 pools based on his original comments. So unless he's made some changes, that is still expectation. So we're still arguably would wait for ETH to have to rally. So how high does ETH have to go? Well, I think that at the moment there's about 200, I'd have to double check, but there's about 200 and something thousand in ETH there. So I don't know, do we need ETH to go to 7K or something, 7.5K before we get some pools up, or no, or maybe even cheaper, maybe 6K? I don't know, we'll see. But it certainly needs to be possibly up towards, you know, at least $500,000. So that'd be a 2.5x from here, and then you just double up in AMM pools. He's got to do about 4 or 5 AMM pools, so we'll see what he decides there, and hopefully we'll get an update from him. You know, once Signum Oracle launches, because that's the one that they've been backing, right? It's the one they got tokens for, and we'll see what happens. See if we get an update inside the next 2 months based on this announcement today. We'll keep a lookout there. All right, that is pretty much it on that one. So let's jump over to the other one that we want to do is Liberty Swap. Liberty Swap also had an update. These are, you know, top tier DeFi on Pulsechain that we're talking about here. We're not messing around with them with the little babies out there. We've got a lot of devs doing a lot of stuff on Pulsechain, so we try to do fair coverage and cover them here and there. Also, we do lots of other coverage of other projects, but it's another day. 32 minutes ago. What's this? This is from Liberty Swap. 32 minutes ago. Oh, there we go. I don't know. We'll start down the bottom here, though. We'll start down the bottom because I want to get to this point here. So we won't start down quite that bottom. So they put out this, right? So they, good morning, Pulsechain friends. we've put together a few ideas for. We got a comment in the chat there. We have. There's a comment there. We got Blair in the house there. Happy birthday! Hi all. Happy birthday, Blair. I think we need to get some more thinkers there. Seems like everybody that puts happy birthday and they gets a clap and a sound effect. I don't know. This seems to be happening now. All right. So good morning, Pulsechain friends. This is Liberty Swap. Liberty Swap is the cracking on Pulsechain right now, right? They are the dynamic blue chip rolling out a massive ecosystem. So we spend a lot of time talking about them because they really are the tip of the spear, as it were. So it's kind of cool. We put together a few ideas on new Pulsechain branded Keystone wallet, which is kind of cool. They got 63,000 followers there on that. The most user-friendly open source air-gapped hardware wallet for your entire crypto journey. Vote for your favorite so we can move into production quickly. Not a fan of any of them. So we had these four, right? We had these four images here. I don't know if we got those. There's the four. That's the first one, number one, which is my favorite. Number two, that's number two. Number three, that one there. And a number four, that is the last one there. That's kind of cool. I kind of like a little bit like that. Anyway, so number one is the one that won, right? So this one here is the one that won, which has got this cool imagery here. I like it a lot. That looks good. So that's 33.8%. But number three, which came second with 31.5%, was this one here, which is kind of cool. But I way prefer this one here, and that one. Thank goodness that one. 7,400 views and only 130 votes. What the heck? What are all these people that are viewing? Are they all bots or what? Only 130 can vote out of 7,400. That's crazy. That's crazy. Engagement, very difficult. Getting views is hard, but getting engagement, that's very difficult indeed. So there we go. Gives you a good example. So this design will go into production. It will indeed. Looks pretty. I like it. Can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it as well. Very, very cool. We got the monster thread in there too. Nice one there. If you haven't read the monster thread, check it out. Number 53 is out. All right, so that is kind of cool. What else we got going? Then we got more coming here. So 9 hours ago, after that, we got an update on their protocols. So which is what we're looking at right now, because we just did Tetra from Stu. Now we're doing Liberty Swap and their progress. Yield protocol, they say, currently in UAT phase for internal testing before making it public. Now, this is going to be, I think, an absolute juggernaut, and this should ramp up their revenue fees quite a bit. Remember, 80%. So teams can put liquidity in, presumably multi-chain, and they can set the fee, right? And then out of the fee, they get 80%, and then 20% will go to Liberty Swap to buy Peacock. And 10% will be buying and burning, apparently, and 10% will go into a treasury, potentially used for, I don't know, development or something, I will see. But our yield protocol currently in a UAT phase, so that is coming soon, guys. So taking a little bit longer, but remember they have had to do the wallet and they're doing many other upgrades and new features and products. These guys have got a whole roadmap, guys, of massive DeFi, and it's all quality frontier DeFi stuff. So it's pretty cool. Liberty Swap, Liberty Swap itself. So there's the sort of the bridge, right? The bridge, the new CCTP peer as this like cross-chain protocol. Peer will go live today, so that's kind of cool. We're looking forward to that. Next week, we'll focus on Solana integration into Pulsechain. Isn't that fantastic? That's a real problem, right? Going to EVM to SVM chains, and these guys are making it easy, man. They're making it so easy. So that is so good. That's so good. Remember what Solana ranked at like number 7, I think it is. So that's so good. Really, really cool. So you can get from Pulsechain to SVM Solana back to Pulsechain EVM chain. So that across those blockchain technologies. Awesome stuff. Followed by Thorchain. So if you didn't think that the Solana connection was great, well, they're also going to have Thorchain for BTC, Bitcoin support as well. So if you've got your Bitcoin, you've got that support also. Awesome, eh? Awesome. That's so good. Liberty Dex. So the Liberty Dex there, the Dex aggregator, we are polishing the UI, UX. The UI means user interface. UX means user experience. Refactoring the Pulse and Wrap Pulse flow and adding transaction displays for limit orders. Obviously, they provide another blue chip form of limit orders. We've also got that offering with Brandon with his Switch product, which does Ethereum, base chain, and Pulse chain. And we've also got limit orders there with who's the other one that I was thinking of the other day? There's a few others. There's Curve with the CURV, and then limit orders with which uses Switch, stuff. And then who's the other one? Is it? Who's the other one? Oh, I just got a mind blank there. Is it PLS? No, I'm not sure. But anyway, that is they've got another offering there too. We are also integrating support for 2 additional aggregators on Pulsechain. So we're also integrating 2 additional aggregators here. So I'm not sure which ones those are, but they'll be aggregating somebody else. I'm not sure who those are though. Obviously, the main AMM pools are Pulsex and 9mm, and then there's a few others around. So I guess that's what they're doing. And then you get aggregators of aggregators, which is kind of like what PLS is, but yeah, we'll see what they are. Then finally, the ZKX wallet, which is their recent launch. We are awaiting new version release on the Chrome store, so they've obviously put that through. In the meantime, the team is refactoring and deploying smart contracts, smart account, and Relayer support the first EIP 7702 smart wallet on Pulsechain, and internal test version is expected by the end of next week. So there we go, a great update from them. I'll just do a repost on that. So that is pretty cool. So that is coming, guys, and that is a really incredible, all happening on Pulsechain. So 2 mega updates today around Tether and Signum and all the other products supporting in that suite, as well as LibertySwap with their Frontier DeFi suite as well. So got to get excited about Pulsechain, and big shout out to the devs that are building. Really, really exciting there. All right, so let's jump up here a bit further. I think we had 1, 2 other announcements. Keep visiting. I don't know. It's a tongue twister day today. Keystone Wallet is the first step in reaching out to teams outside of Pulsechain to support the chain and our products. And this is so important. So LibertySwap being our dynamic blue chip, they're reaching out to all these organizations out there that, they get themselves on the list for Ethereum and other things like that, because they're multi-chain, right? Multi-chain can get on all these other, information sites and things like that. That means other users will find it, right? So there might be, maybe they don't even come to Pulsechain, but they're tinkering around on Solana or Base Chain or something, and they go to a website that's for Base Chain, for Solana or Base, and then they see privacy or multi-chain swaps, and the LibertySwap is one of the offerings, right? So there's all helps with that a lot. So I'm very glad they can see the effort our community is making to build Pulsechain into a stronger, more connected ecosystem, and that's a very big part of what LibertySwap's trying to do as well. Next, I hope our contributions to privacy tooling will gain recognition from the Ethereum Foundation and Railgun communities. So obviously they've been pushing the foundation, the frontier of integrating privacy with trading and bridging and everything else, which is kind of cool. And they say more coming, great news. So they are working hard with a lot of these different crypto technology companies, as well as, I guess, information websites as well. So they're really trying to push out there a big time. Should I create an ad to promote our new hardware? Says $10. LibertySwap says absolutely, running ads for Keystone Wallet and ZK Wallet. Important there. And of course, the ZKX wallet is their new frontier wallet that combines privacy and trading and all the rest of the LibertySwap products, including the bridge and presumably liquidity coming up, all that cool stuff there as well. We have to actively reach out to everybody, says LibertySwap. There are a few more things we can do to make our products more accessible and widely adopted. Absolutely. So this is definitely something they've been looking at, right? So it's kind of cool. This is just the start. Everyone should do everything they can to promote the chain. Absolutely. Better adoption on Pulsechain is good for the long term. So they're playing their role there, and looks like they're being pretty aggressive about it as well, which is kind of cool. We have just made a great deal with Keystone Wallet on behalf of our community this May. So it looks like that hardware wallet there, and with branding getting done. These guys are not mucking around. 41 minutes ago, hot off the press. One day this will all make sense. The Lady Liberty of Pulsechain will be everywhere, and there we go. So keep a lookout for that. It will all make sense. Now, some people will say, is this a team that works for Richard Hart? Is this a team that's mirroring his vision very well? I don't know. You decide. But they do make lots of statements like this. One day this will all make sense. I don't know. The Liberty on Pulsechain will be everywhere. Now, they're definitely working to make it everywhere. But maybe there could be some massive capital injections coming out. I don't know. We'll see. But certainly their product suite is going to lift their revenue a lot as well. And we'll see what happens to Peacock there. They've also got their airdrop wallet coming, the wallet for the airdrop coming up as well. I think the number, what did I say last time? I think it was 60%, was it? 60 or 70% there, which is going to the Peacock holders. So assuming that stays the same, That is where the number is. All right, let's jump over to there. That is pretty much it from them. So, once again, doing pretty amazing things. And we're having our 3rd year birthday for Pulsechain as well. Pulsechain trying to find the bottom. There's so much going on. Market value will catch up with DeFi value. Is that what's going to happen? We just have a bit of a delay. And at the moment, you can pick up tons of Pulse. Is that what's going on? You decide. Hey, we're just coming up an hour, though, on the live stream. And I think that's a pretty good place to finish. What do you guys reckon? I hope you guys have enjoyed today's content. I have. Man, watch out for Stretch tonight, the final day pre-X dividend. Are we going to get a $10,000 Bitcoin buy day? Is it going to be over $1 billion in volume? Are we going to blow that out of the water and do something like 15 to 20,000 like we saw last month? Bitcoin's being a bit cheaper is a lot friendly because you can buy more Bitcoin, and that's going to go into the strategy there. That's huge. What a massive amount of Bitcoin it is. We see the ETFs hopefully will be positive buying, and the whales continue, and it's exciting. So kind of cool. We know that Bitmine Immersion is buying, probably moving down about 25k ETH a week, and we'll get an update next week on them as well. So 2 big updates for the 2 top digital asset treasuries there. We've obviously got a number of the other treasuries and Bitcoin on the move right now, and also we've got a lot of things happening with the whales buying a lot as well. So I think it's looking pretty good. What's the last thing? We're going to get an update. Remember, this sort of gets forgotten, but we're going to get an update within the next week or two around the US government's plan for Bitcoin, strategic Bitcoin reserve. That is coming. So I just wanted to bring that attention. That is still coming. We kind of forget about it, but that is happening. We've got Clarity Act happening on Thursday. There's a lot happening in crypto, a lot happening. So exciting times. What else? Pulsechain 3-year birthday. I mean, come on, that's fantastic. Yeah, okay. The chart hasn't looked great, but it's now the time you can buy up just about everything for free. It's not quite free, but you get my point. You can buy a load of Pulsechain right now. And no, there's going to be the guys that bought the bottom. Certainly the chart is looking healthy for that. What else? All these DeFi teams doing a great job. I'm really impressed by their work. Looking forward to the continued expansion. And of course, it's not just Pulsechain, but they're multi-chain. I love that. We've also got Fast Abdul out there. He's probably getting ready for his liquidity fork, multi-chain one, multi-collateral. That's going to use ProveX and VPulse from Vouch. So I'm excited to see what sort of TVL they can do. Can they beat out liquid loans? That'd be interesting. Can they do it? They certainly got a lot of influence out there. So we shall see. It's kind of one of those things. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Don't forget to subscribe on the way in. We're streaming on 3 YouTube channels. The Pulsechain X on YouTube, on Superman Crypto on YouTube, and also on the Crypto Night Show on YouTube. And of course, we're streaming live on X. So if you haven't subscribed or followed on X, do that. And one of the easiest things you can do is just repost the show. If you love daily Pulsechain content, this is the Crypto Night Show. Is the largest Pulsechain influencer doing daily content. Bar a couple of days off here and there. Then get out there and get people introduced. And of course, we're covering some of the hottest DeFi projects on Pulsechain, and from Emmet Farm to True DeFi to Liberty Swap to Tetra. We're covering it all, guys. It's really, really exciting. And we've had some good interviews lately too. If you haven't checked those out, we've had some of the top DeFi teams as well as utility teams on Pulsechain, and we've interviewed them recently. We're going to have more coming up as well. So if you're a team out there and you want to get an interview, hit me up either in Discord, hit me up on Telegram, something like that, and we'll get it done. All right, take care, everybody. Onwards and upwards. Bring it on. We've got a great couple of days ahead, both the end of this week and next week for crypto. Keep a lookout for it, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, with that said, this is the new format here, so enjoy the outro trailer here. Take care, everybody, and bye for now.